Hello James, welcome back after a long while. So just about a week time left for BITSAT 2024 session 1, and at this point anyone would agree that direction is more important than magnitude, right? Whatever you know, you should have a good grip on it from exam point of view. Okay, you should know the topics which are important from exam point of view, and you should know them well, okay, so that you are able to crack it. And in this video we are going to just sharpen the final few pieces. Okay, we are going to discuss one important topic from one chapter each. Okay, and mind you, these are the topics you should not be skipping for BITSAT 2024. Okay, these are very important topic. The data is based on the past 15-year trends, 12 to 15-year trends of BITSAT. So all these topics are very important, and it's just one topic from each chapter. Of course, if you know the topic, good for you. Just go back and revise a little bit, and if you don't know it, don't put the extra pain of going and learning it. Okay, you can do it for attempt 2, but for attempt 1, if you know this topic, you can go back and revise and score more in your paper. Okay, so let's go through these topics. First and foremost, we have the chapter of units and dimensions, and 3 topics are most important over here: dimensional analysis, dimensional analysis, dimensional analysis. Okay, almost every paper in the last 12 years has had a question on dimensional analysis. Okay, the questions wherein a certain physical quantity depends upon powers of A, B and C physical quantity, right? You have to just find the powers or the dimensional formula, or you have to find out the dimensional dimensions of a particular quantity from a formula. Okay, so those type of questions. Coming to our second chapter, which is motion in a straight line or motion in one dimension. Okay, from here the concept which is most asked is motion under gravity. Okay, actually it is uniformly accelerated motion. Okay, as a whole, those 3 equations of motion, v is equal to u plus at, v square is equal to u square plus 2as, and the third one. Okay, and also in that one specific topic, of course, motion under gravity is also a uniformly accelerated motion. So that is the most important topic, wherein the questions are based on a ball is dropped from a certain height, this ball is thrown up in the air with this velocity. Again, you are supposed to find something. Okay, so those type of questions are stressed over here. So motion under gravity becomes an important topic. Also, I'll be telling you from where to practice such type of questions. We all of course have it on our channel. I'll be suggesting you what series to refer. Okay, so you don't have to break your head on searching for this. Okay, so let's finish it up. Do sit with a copy and a note so that you can note down this important topics. Okay, so let's come to chapter number 3, which is motion in 2 dimensions. Now 90% of this chapter is projectile motion, and of course that is the most important topic, and that too from projectile motion. Most of the questions will be based on those 3 formulae, right? The maximum height achieved, time of flight, and the range of the projectile motion. Okay, they'll usually ask you for the ratio, okay, 2 different projectiles, or they'll give you certain data that this height and this height is equal. Then you are supposed to solve and find the ratio of their initial speed maybe. Okay, so those type of questions, okay, based on the 3 formulae. Okay, those are most important. Okay, other types are also seen, but this is the most important topic from motion in 2 dimensions. Okay, let's come to laws of motion. Now this is a vast topic, okay, and questions are, you cannot basically isolate one topic from another because all the topics are correlated, right? So here basically the important topics are friction, block over block is one of the favorite of BITSAT. Okay, it's asked in few shifts. Okay, then also constrained motion and equilibrium K questions, which are basically you have string and pulleys and all. Okay, and you are supposed to tell what will be the equilibrium condition. Okay, what will be the tension in the string at equilibrium. Okay, those type of questions. Let's come to chapter number 5, which is rotational motion. Now here the most important topic, write it down, is moment of inertia. Okay, basically you are supposed to know moment of inertia of all the different continuous bodies, right? And also just basically application of angular momentum, I1 omega 1 is equal to omega 2 conservation. That is also dependent on moment of inertia. So, and also once you know all the moment of inertia, you are also supposed to know those 2 theorems, okay, perpendicular axis theorem for moment of inertia and the parallel axis theorem. Okay, so applying these 3 things, you will be able to get the answers of most of the questions from this chapter. Okay, most of the questions from rotational motion, about 70% of the questions were based on moment of inertia in the last previous years. Okay, and this time also this is going to be the case. Okay, so go study moment of inertia of different bodies. Okay, let's come to work power energy. Work power energy, basically it's mid chapter, sometimes asked, okay, sometimes not asked. So here basically the questions will be pretty straightforward based on the formula of work, power and energy. Okay, they might give you certain data and basically straightforward. Okay, they might give you force and displacement, and the block is suppose pushed along a certain angle. You might be told to compute the work. Okay, so simple formula based questions in the first half, and you can also focus on conservation of angular momentum. So some of you might push this topic here also. Anyways, doesn't really matter, but it is an important topic. Okay, conservation of angular momentum, linear momentum is also an important topic. Okay, just have a look on it. Now coming to chapter number 7, which is gravitation. Gravitation, most important topic, again escape velocity. Okay, they might give you some planet and its mass is 4 times the mass of Earth and radius is so and so. You are supposed to compute the escape velocity, or you might be told to find the orbit of a satellite that is also based on conservation of energy or escape velocity, right? So those type of questions. And also the dependence of g, right? G is not a constant, acceleration due to gravity, we know it as 9.8, but it is terms and conditions applied, right? So variation of g with height, depth or angular velocity, those questions are also important. Okay, and rest all gravitational potential and also those type of topics you can neglect because those are not really asked. Okay, let's come to topic number 8, which is mechanical properties of solid. Now there are 3 topics in this chapter. Okay, I'm not going to repeat that. Okay, actually 3 topics are different 3 topics, which are Young's modulus, bulk modulus and your shear rigidity modulus, right? Out of these 3, Young's modulus is of course the most important one. There are questions asked on bulk modulus and shear modulus too, okay, but which are very less. Okay, 90% of the times the questions are on bulk modulus. And you remember even this is something I told you in while BITSAT 2022 as well, right? Young's modulus, most important, and we made a song y is equal to FL by A delta L, right? So yeah, that formula you should know it by heart, and you should be, it's pretty straightforward. Okay, you just have to substitute in that formula and get the answer. Okay, so let's come to topic number 9, which is mechanical properties of fluid. Again, something vast. Okay, just like laws of motion, not really correlated topics, but yeah, it's vast and questions are asked from different parts of it. But if I had to pinpoint a few parts, will be surface tension. Okay, suppose you have a big drop which breaks into 8 drops, then you might be asked for its surface tension, surface energy, okay, change in the surface energy. And one more special one is upthrust, okay, wherein you put a block in the water, some part of it is submerged, okay, you will be asked for its weight. Okay, so you just have to balance the upthrust and its weight. Okay, so basically the flotation, law of flotation. So based on those, questions are asked. Okay, also equation of continuity A1 V1 is equal to A2 V2, those type of questions. Topic number 10, which is thermal properties of matter. Not really as an important topic for BITSAT, but mostly the questions are based on heat current. Okay, this formula, which is Q is equal to Ka delta T by L. So you might be asked for a junction temperature, or they might be you might have a conductor in parallel, okay, and you might be asked for the current, heat current that is flowing. Different type of questions that can be framed around this particular formula. Okay, so basically this R by K is thermal resistance, right? So you can compare it with Ohm's law and series parallel, all that logic. Okay, so that specific part of that chapter is important. Thermodynamics, most of the questions are based on your isothermal adiabatic processes, okay, wherein you might be using the relation P1 V1 is equal to V2 for isothermal, and similar relation for your adiabatic. And also thermodynamics, one of the key point is graphs are being asked regularly. Okay, graphs like PV graph might be given for a certain process, you might be asked for the work done. So those type of questions, see that you focus on the graph side of thermodynamics too, basically PV graphs, and you might be asked for the work done. Okay, coming to KTG, kinetic theory of gases, a theoretical topic. You might be asked for the postulates of kinetic theory of gases. That is the case in some of the few papers that I found. And RMS speed is one of the most important topics, right? It is VRMS is under root 3 RT by m, if I'm not mistaken. So here it's inversely proportional to square root of mass, so they might ask you for VRMS of two different gases. Okay, so basically you just have to use the relation. Okay, and again, ratio type of questions are favorite for BITSAT. Okay, they'll ask you for ratios of escape velocity, ratios of RMS speed, ratios of this and that. Okay, let's come to SHM. SHM is simple harmonic motion, and most of the questions from this chapter are based on the very equation of SHM. Okay, not A is equal to minus omega square x, not that equation. Basically the equation that you use, like x is equal to a sine omega t. Okay, if it's starting from the mean position, or a cos omega t, from the extreme position. Okay, so they might give you a certain phase or a certain amplitude. You are supposed to find the phase at that point. Okay, so you just have to solve the equation. So that's basically it. Most of the questions from SHM are based on the very equation, a sine omega t, a cos omega t plus phi, whatever. Okay, and then one more important topic for SHM is time period. Okay, they might give you a combination of springs, okay, series parallel. You have to solve it and just use the formula T is equal to 2 pi under root m by k, right? If I'm not wrong, it's m by k. Okay, so you just have to find the equivalent k and just substitute there and find the time period. Okay, so solve those type of problems too, wherein you have combination of springs and they ask you for the time period. Those type of questions are important for BITSAT. Okay, let's come to waves. Waves, most important topic is Doppler's effect. Like in the past few years, it was asked very regularly. Okay, almost every paper of BITSAT had Doppler's effect. Recently, it's fading away, but who knows? Doppler's effect is the most prominent topic from waves. Other topic I can suggest from waves is I think you can do bits or waves on string. Okay, waves on string, wherein there is tension in the string and due to that there are modes of vibration, right? So that, or resonance. Okay, but I think Doppler effect might come. Okay, so I also have a video on Doppler effect. I'll mention it in the comment section. So for those who get confused with those signs, okay, observed frequency and the apparent one, and you have to place a sign, right, between the velocities of the observer and the source. Okay, so for that video will be available in the description. So this is about the 11 standard topics. Let's move to the 12 standard topics. To the 12 standard side. So first topic is electrostatics, the first two chapter of your 12 standard. So in this, the most important topic is electric field and potential. Okay, so they might give you one and ask you to compute the other. So if potential is given, they might ask you for electric field, which will be minus dV by dr, and they might ask you at a certain point, so you have to substitute that value. Okay, and also electric field and potential, they usually ask the electric field and potential of a sphere. Okay, so remember all the relations of the sphere, hollow and the conducting one. The conducting is the same, and we have the dielectric sphere, solid dielectric sphere. So remember the different relations that we obtained for your sphere. Okay, hollow, conducting, and the dielectric one. Okay, so let's come to this one. So topic number 1 is that, and the second topic is capacitance. Now capacitance is very, very important. Okay, at least one question might come for your BITSAT 2024, which is based on capacitance directly. Okay, they will ask you to compute equivalent capacitance of a circuit. So they might give you a complicated a combination of capacitors, and they will ask you for equivalent capacitance. That is one type of question based on capacitance. Or they might ask you to compute the energy that is stored in the capacitor. Okay, so which is q square by 2c, or the other way, other relations. Okay, so yeah, those two type of questions can be asked based on capacitance, and it is very, very important. Okay, let's come to topic number 2, current electricity. So the most important topic from here, last year also a question was asked based on equivalent resistance. Okay, so again, combination of resistors, and you have to simplify it and find the equivalent resistance or equivalent or the net current in the circuit. Okay, so that is basically it about current electricity. If you want to study more, you can go for drift velocity, just the relation, because they'll ask you for the ratio. Okay, then coming to third chapter, which is magnetic effects of your electric current. From here, the applications of Biot-Savart law, which is the circular coil, okay, and straight wire, those two examples, and they'll give you an assembly of a circuit, okay, consisting of arcs and wires. Okay, they'll give you a point and they'll ask you to compute the magnetic field at that point. Okay, so those type of applicative questions, basically application of Biot-Savart law. Okay, let's come to next topic, which is cyclotron. Okay, so these two are important. Cyclotron, basically the relations, right? R is equal to mv by qb, and they might use two different particles, again ask you for the ratio of radius. Okay, so those type of questions. Magnetism and matter, not at all important for BITSAT. If you want to skip it, I'll be happy that you are skipping it. Like in the past 15 years, might be 3 to 4 questions asked from this chapter. Basically, it will be based on theory, some part of the theory, hysteresis maybe, or they'll ask you on dip. Okay, declination, dip, those two things have formula, right? Dip is basically tan delta is a vertical component upon the horizontal. Okay, so yeah, that's all you need to know. Even if you don't refer that chapter, it's good to go. You are good to go. Okay, let's come to chapter number 5. It is AC current. AC current, most of the questions, about 80% of the questions, I think 70 to 80% of the questions were based on RLC circuit. Okay, series RLC circuit. So you are supposed to know the basically what is that? Resonant frequency. Okay, wherein the XL and XC components cancel out each other, and then also, yeah, that's all you are supposed to know. RLC circuit. You might be asked to find the net impedance of the circuit. It might not always be the case that there is resonance and XL and XC are cancelling. So in that case, you can be asked for impedance also. Okay, so then also one more important topic is power factor. Okay, that cos phi that comes in the formula of power, right? I square r cos phi or vi cos phi. So that cos phi questions are based on that. So you might be given a circuit and you might be asked for the power factor of that circuit. Okay, so that is also important. Again, one more topic which you can skip is electromagnetic waves. And if the question is asked from here, it will be mostly based on energy and momentum, right? Electromagnetic waves carry energy and momentum, so those two formulae are important. So you can just go back and look at those two formulae. Okay, now ray optics is something difficult to analyze because it's a very vast topic and questions are asked from different topics. Okay, every time they have a lottery. Okay, this topic, that topic, you get a chance, everybody gets a chance. Okay, so it's difficult to decide which topic is actually important. Okay, but most of the questions in the past 15 years were from about 40%, I would say, were from mirror and lens formulae, and if you combine these two, it will be about 60%. Okay, I'm guessing, and which is refraction at spherical surface. Okay, so those two are important. Okay, this is that mu2 minus mu1. Okay, by r. Okay, so that formula, and also I like to add on a few things. What is that? Ray optics. You can also have questions from, since this is a vast topic, the current trend, they are asking you questions based on dispersion power. Okay, we have done few questions on dispersion power, I think, in the most probable series. Okay, so yeah, that is the series I wanted to mention. It will be available in the description box of this video. Okay, so if you want to go and revise all of these topics, will somehow be revised in that 5 video series. Okay, so you just have to watch those 5 videos and all of this will be in a way revised. Okay, or if you want to put in your efforts, you just go and revise each of this topic. Okay, these are important topics. Do not skip topic for BITSAT. Okay, let's come back to our chapter number 8, which is wave optics. Wave optics, of course, two things there are there in this chapter. One is interference and diffraction. So both of those things are important. Basically the fringe width formula, lambda capital D by small d, right? So that is important, and a few questions are based on phase and intensity. Okay, so in interference they might tell you a certain point on on your screen where the intensity is so and so, and you are told to find the phase. Okay, so those type of questions. Ninth chapter, dual nature. Dual nature, nothing is there, only one thing, photoelectric effect. So just focus on that. Okay, most of the questions, 80% of the questions were based on photoelectric effect. So you should know all the graphs, the relations, okay, how what happens to the stopping potential and all of those things. Okay, so and a few questions were also based on de Broglie wavelength. Okay, so they might give you the kinetic energy and ask you for the de Broglie wavelength or de Broglie wavelength, the way you call it. Okay, so topic number 10 is atomic physics, which is the most of the formula are based on the Rydberg's formula. Okay, you might be given n initial and n final. You are supposed to find the wavelength, not so straightforward. They'll give you two different scenarios. Again, solve it for this, solve it for this, find the ratio. Okay, so Lehman, Balmer, Paschen, whatever. So 1 by lambda, that formula is most important. Chapter number 11, nuclear physics. From here, radioactivity, half-life, and what is that? Lambda. Okay, that is decay constant. Okay, so questions based on that are important. The radioactivity law, n is equal to n0 e raised to power minus lambda t. So basically you have to solve it. Okay, they might give you certain concentration, and then what is the time taken for the concentration to become this. Okay, so you apply the radioactivity law, right? So those type of questions, half-life may be given. You can compute lambda and hence compute the concentration at a particular time t, right? So those type of questions. So semiconductor, the questions are mostly based on theory. Okay, so if you are learning it, learn it from theory point of view. So different type of questions based on the theory, the forward biasing, the reverse biasing, the characteristics, and all of that, and like questions like the doping and what happens to the depletion region if you increase the forward biasing. So those type of questions basically based on the theory of semiconductors. Okay, and one more important topic is gates. So for that you'll need Boolean algebra, or you just have to solve it. Okay, so basically the logic gates, that is one important topic. One question might be sure from that. Okay, logic gates, and one from the theory of semiconductors. Okay, it usually comes like in the past 6-7 years, it is constantly coming. Okay, one theory question from semiconductors. Also in some questions they might give you a diode in the circuit. So those type of questions I've considered in current electricity only. So basically you break open the diode, right? So if it's in reverse bias, you just open the circuit. Forward bias, ideal diode, just short the circuit, right? So those type of questions are also asked. You can put them in semiconductors or current electricity. Okay, so that was about it. This is one important topic from each of the chapter. Do not skip topics. Okay, and you don't have to go and relearn this topic. Okay, these are important, so you might know it already, right? So you just have to go and revise it so that it's on the top of your head, it's accessible at the time of exam. Okay, so this will be the wise way forward. Okay, I'm not asking you to go and learn it. Okay, of course that is not feasible at this point of time. You just have to go back and just look at it. Okay, so yeah, that will help you a lot and push you a few marks more maybe in your paper. Okay, so yeah, that is what I ask of you, and it might help you, so do consider it. And if you want to practice more such questions for BITSAT, I'll provide the links of two different series. One is the mock test series that we did for BITSAT 2022, of course still relevant because the BITSAT is based on trends, and that's why I'm doing this video in first place. And the other one is one which we did for BITSAT 2024, is the most probable series, wherein we discuss most probable topics, questions from most probable topics. So those two videos will be available in the description box of this video. I'll also make them available over here at the end screen. And that's all about this video. I'll be coming to interview you for after your BITSAT at BITS Goa. So if you'll be there, do let me know in the comment section. That's about this video. Keep enjoying physics.